Good morning, good afternoon. I'm Jimmy Ndihokubwayo, the Chairperson of YALI Alumni Burundi Chapter, and here we have a guest. Let's ask him to introduce himself.
Great. Well, thank you. My name is David Gosney. I'm the USAID Director for Kenya in East Africa Regional Programming, and real pleasure to be here with you today, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you so much for being with us, and I would love to today to discuss with you the impact of the YALI program in Burundi, as I'm representing the YALI Alumni Burundi Chapter. You know, YALI is a great program for just for African young leaders, because it took us from where in a place that we had no skills, and today we are really making a positive impact. And personally, I joined YALI when it was like four years ago, and it was so hard for me. I was struggling with the lack of skills, lack of knowledge, yet I was really making a positive impact, but it was not structured. But YALI found me, and I was able to join the program. I'm from the 41 cohort. I did it online by the way, because of the COVID-19. It was really so hard for me to participate, but thanks to the good management of the YALI RC East Africa, the program was really so helpful to me, and I was able to strengthen my organization, and today it's really making a positive impact. We are serving children, young people, and women in rural areas, and we've been touching around thousands of direct beneficiaries. It's really, this is the change that I owe to YALI program. And today, let me share with you some key success stories of the chapter and the alumni in Burundi, because we are really making a positive impact, and thanks to YALI program. So, for instance, in Burundi, YALI has equipped young leaders, and in Burundi, we are having successful alumni-led initiatives like Dreaming for Change. This is one of the organizations that's really making a positive impact in Bubanza, Butanuka, and even recently we were honored to have the team from RRC East Africa, led by the chief of party, visiting Burundi and this community, and also the other organizations like Kisabo Tours and also my organization and other alumni-led organization. So thinking of YALI is not like a program for young African leaders only, but it's for communities. And this is very important. Due to YALI, or thanks to YALI, I was able to get close to the U.S. Embassy and take the advantages of the opportunities given by the U.S. Embassy, like American Corners, and also other educational programs like Fulbright Humphrey Fellowship Program. A great program that I was attending even at Michigan State University. I was doing economics, and this program gave me an opportunity to stay there for 14 months and get a practical experience with Lansing economic area, where I was working on equitable economic development. Normally, in a few words, YALI is making an impact, and alumni-led organizations are really touching millions of lives. So now I'd love to just to know and understand, how do you feel when you are supporting YALI, and how is USAID supporting alumni-led initiatives in their respective countries?
Well, thank you so much, Jimmy. And that was some great reflections on the impact that YALI is having, and we hoped YALI to have. So let me jump back and highlight a couple things you talked about. First, you talked about how YALI helps you take advantage of some of the opportunities within the U.S. Embassy. And maybe start there, because USAID is a well-known organization, but some people don't know or fully understand that USAID is part of the U.S. government, where our offices are in embassies around the world. And our part of the U.S. government is to build that partnership between the American people and the Kenyan people, and real partnership. So I've worked at USAID for over 21 years and seen many different sorts of development activities and focus areas. And I can tell you, the one area that really has the most profound and long-lasting impact is ultimately when we invest in people. And that's what YALI is about, because it's based upon a shared value, shared principle between, in this case, the African people and the American people that believe that every individual, no matter what background you come from, no matter where you come from, deserves an opportunity to thrive. You know, sometimes people talk about the American dream, but it's not an American dream. It's a dream of all people, including African people. It's an African dream. It's a dream of every individual. And that's what we share, is that every person should have that opportunity. And that's the foundation of YALI as well. So that's why it's been so rewarding to hear from you about how you were able to take advantage of it and just build some skills that gave you that opportunity, right? Because I'm sure that wasn't easy. It took a lot of effort by you to do that. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's an opportunity. It's not a gift. It's just giving somebody an opportunity to build those skills. And that's the other thing that you highlighted, which is so rewarding to hear. It's not even just about you. It's about your communities. It's about your building that network. It's about what I think, you know, I've heard so many YALI alumni now do. Like I was just talking to a YALI alumni from Tanzania, Otaigo, who has now formed a business. He's employing 22 people, benefiting over 100 other people. So it's helping not only the communities, but the countries to develop. And it's in Burundi, and it's in Uganda, and it's in Tanzania, and it's in Somalia. And the other thing that you mentioned, I think, is that with those skills, you're building your communities, but you're helping each other as well, and that's the partnership. So it's between the American people and Kenyan people, but it's amongst all the YALI alumni, and that's what's so rewarding to see here today: the gathering of the alumni, the network. Because what's the name of this program? It's the Young African Leaders Initiative. So you're being a leader. And you can lead in so many ways. You can lead as a business entrepreneur. You can lead as a member of a civil society or an NGO. You can become a part of the government. Yeah. And you can lead, and that's what, but it takes, as the ambassador mentioned today, nobody can thrive without a little help. And that's what YALI is designed to do. And then what's really rewarding, Jimmy, that you mentioned, is then once you get that little help and you begin lead, bring somebody else along.
But I would love to ask you this question.
Yeah.
And USAID is really investing in the future. Let me say this, because you are investing in us, in young leaders. And my question is, as someone who has been working in non-profit organizations since, like, I have a 10 years experience in that, and I'm so sure that young leaders who will be watching us today can testify this. My question is, USAID is really partnering with big organizations, and let me say, those small organizations led by young people, we are struggling to meet the requirements of USAID and other big organizations, because, you know, when you are so small, or you are starting an organization, it's really hard to secure fundings and so on. So I'd love to know, after the YALI program, I know that there are some other opportunities like transformation funds and other funding from the centers. But how is the USAID missions in respective countries is thinking of paneling with all those alumni-led organizations, despite of these, let me say, those weaknesses, because we cannot maybe deliver on time, we cannot meet your requirements. So how are you thinking about that? Because investing in us, it's all about investing in the future, and tomorrow, who knows? Yesterday I was not at this level, but today I'm really somebody in my country. So I just imagine myself in 10 years, and how is USAID is trying to work on that, so that maybe in 10 years you won't be struggling to find me, because I will be already paneling with you. So how are you thinking of maybe envisioning the future with us, young African leaders who are in non-profit organizations?
That's such a great question, Jimmy, and really gets at the heart of so many issues. In the past, as you kind of mentioned, some even criticisms of how we do business and ways we're trying to adjust and learn and do better. So first off, that's why one critical component of YALI is having some resources available to support directly YALI alumni as they move forward, as they generate ideas. But the reality is that amount of funding is fairly limited, right? And it's really, I don't really think it's getting to the core of your question, which is, look, USAID invests a lot of money around the world. And it really needs to be thoughtful about how it does that, because we're there to partner and invest in local organizations and institutions. That's where the knowledge is. That's where the need is. That's where the sustainability is. And that's why recently a major push, probably the biggest one over the last several years, is for USAID to increase its investments in local organizations and partner more directly with them for the reasons you just said. First and foremost, it's the local people that understand what the challenges are and the best ways to meet and overcome those challenges. Second, the local people are going to be there. An international program or NGO, they do amazing work. But, you know, they come in, they're not the long-term sustainable answer to that solution, right? Yeah. We need to invest in local people who are going to be there today, 10 years and 20 years as well. So just I can give you one example from Kenya. That's why in Kenya, over 60% of our awards go to local organizations now. That was not the case 5-10 years ago. In addition to that, 40% of all the resources that we program are to local organizations. But Jimmy, as you mentioned, this doesn't come easy, right? USAID is a large organization. It comes with a lot of requirements, accounting, oversight, reporting, those type of things. And it's not really appropriate. Not every organization is at the position right now to do that. That's why we want to make sure we also have support for those organizations that want to develop that capacity to do so. But also, if they don't want to, that we have other means to get them some resources so that they can do the work they want to do and not focus on some of the things that maybe is a little too early for them to focus on.
Yeah, well, so thank you so much. I think that everyone who will be watching us, we understand and get this new information, even for me. And on the behalf of YALI alumni, I would love to appreciate the investment of the USAID in us, because thanks to you, we are really making an impact. And as you can see today, even on social media, we are really making a change. And this Africa, the world need young people, and the world need equipped and empowered young people, and that's what USAID is really doing. So thank you so much for having me, and also it's really a pleasure. But finishing this session, I would love to ask you, visiting Africa, now that you are working in Africa, how do you feel and how do you see? Because I've been in the US and I've seen how Americans have like some bias about Africa, and I had to, before going there and see by myself that we, like, Americans are really good, are good and generous people. So now, how do you see it? And when you were maybe preparing your first trip to Africa, how did you felt, and what about what happened, and now? Did you change your view toward Africa?
Well, so my first trip to Africa was over 33 years ago. Oh. So when I graduated university, actually my first job, I was a teacher in Zimbabwe. And I was out at a rural school where I taught high school math and science out in a small village, no electricity, no running water. I lived there for 2 years. And so I got to know the people there. And I brought that back because what I saw was, it kind of goes back to where we started the conversation. People who were willing and wanted to work hard. They wanted to provide a future for their families. They were in school learning every single day to create that future. But in some cases, they didn't have all the opportunities that some of my fellow Americans did back in the U.S. It was harder. And that's kind of what I saw, is that people are talented, they're skilled, they want to work hard. And that's what motivated me to join USAID. Because, as I said, every individual should have that opportunity. Yeah. And so, as I said, now I've been working at USAID for more than 21 years. I work now in Kenya. I see every day the talent, the drive, the hard work, and not just in the business field, in civil society, in trying to make a positive change. The hope, the energy, the drive, the ideas that youth bring, that's what every country needs, including here in Africa. And that's what I would bring back to the American people. I would say, come to Burundi, come to Tanzania, come to Kenya, talk to the youth, see with your own eyes what the opportunity here, because the future is in Africa. And not too far off, the vast majority of youth will be here in Africa. The business opportunities are here in Africa. Come, explore, enjoy, and be part of the transformation that's coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jimmy. Real pleasure.